Hi, everyone. Welcome to an episode of Me, You, and Who. Today, we are talking with the donors. We had the pleasure of interviewing Shanae and Nicole, and Michaela was with us as well. And we were able to talk with them about their various cycles. Shanae is a 5-time egg donor, and Nicole just finished her first cycle in June and is hoping to get matched again. We got to listen to just how they told their family, all of the fun, just, travel stories and craziness that happened. And I am just so grateful to listen to just all of their stories and all of the fun. It was just an absolute blast to be a part of it. And it's just such a fun episode. So please enjoy the donors. Me, you, and who? Who knew it would take more than two people to have a baby? In a world where infertility is no longer a taboo topic, this podcast will take you through all the different aspects of surrogacy and egg donation through the lens of many who walk this journey in different ways. My name is Whitney Hall, and I am a 2-time surrogate, now turned surrogacy coordinator for Egg Donor and Surrogate Solutions, the very agency I used when I chose to carry for 2 amazing families. With this podcast, it is our goal to help guide and support you as you learn about what it takes to grow a family in an alternative way, as well as hear inspiring and beautiful stories of how this path has changed lives forever. We can't wait for you to hear about just one more way happy families are created every day. Well, guys, thanks for taking the time for with your evening to just hang out and chat it up about being a donor. So appreciate it. Why don't we go around? Well, you guys all know each other, but you don't know me. Hi, I'm Whitney.
Hey girl, hey.
Hey girl, hey. Okay, but tell me, we can just go around, name, and then how many cycles have you done? And then we'll just go from there. Michaela, go.
Oh, okay. I'm Michaela. I live in upstate New York. I work for Egg Donor and Surrogate Solutions as their egg donor
Whoop, whoop.
educator and matching coordinator. And I am currently in cycle for my 3rd cycle, and I will be retrieving at the end of this month in Oklahoma.
Yay!
Oh,
Good
I
vibes, girl.
I know.
I'm Nicole. I live in Dallas, Texas now, and retrieval. And I think did it in June, beginning of June.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, so my first one ever, only one, and it was an experience for sure. But I love it. I would do it again.
Good. I hope so.
Yeah.
Make dreams come true.
you got this, girl. Watch, right after this, you're gonna get a match.
I
Just
know.
putting it in the air.
I've
There
been
you
working
go.
to
Put it
match
in the
you,
universe.
Nicole. Anytime I have IPs that are looking for donors with your characteristics, you're always the first one that comes to my mind. And I'm like, I'm sending all the vibes, just
Right.
pick her.
There you go.
Awesome. I'm Shanae. I don't even know how many I've done. 4, 5. I have one more to go before I can't do it anymore. So
5.
5. Okay, yes. I haven't been out of the state though. I've only been in Texas. I'm in Dallas based. And I've done actually the area that I live in, which is great. And then
Ooh.
Houston's the farthest that I've been, and that's only a 4-hour drive. So
Yeah,
all of
too
them
bad.
they've been all here in this area. So I'm
Nice.
blessed.
Yeah, seriously.
That's super convenient.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they've all been in the summer, the summer months, so it doesn't hinder my kid and during the year and stuff. Yeah. I think I had one that was during the year, but it was February. So it was just oh, I can do that. But
Yeah.
That's
Mm-hmm.
nice. Wow, good timing.
Mhm.
Yep. Hopefully I'm gonna try to do one more after the new year. I'm gonna try to get matched one more and do my last one, and then that's it. I hit my
That's all
6.
she wrote.
Yep.
It'll be her
Yeah.
swan song, So how did you guys like first even hear about egg donation? I mean, obviously you got like Shanae, you've loved it so much you want to do it, 6 times.
Yeah, I had a family friend who struggled and like I don't know, I guess like growing up you see I mean, nowadays you really don't see it, but like my mom's friend married her high school sweetheart and they waited till marriage and like, all textbook things, right? And then she basically struggled and it kind of
Mhm.
it, like, set the I don't know, I wouldn't say set the tone, but, like, it set the tone for their marriage. I mean, they went through everything, and then my mom's house was the go-to of, like, sorrowing and just, "What did I do wrong?" and "I did everything right," and the one thing I'm supposed to be able to do, I can't do. Like, it's just her, like,
Mm.
and that as a kid, like, growing up and seeing how much my mom's friends struggled and there was nothing we could do about it, I was just like, "Man, there has to be something, right?" And
Yeah.
then obviously everyone knows I have a child too. My daughter's 13, so I had a baby in high school and it kind of like she my mom's friend had ended up moving away and then it kind of like resurfaced when I found out I was pregnant. And I was thinking, man, like I remember her wanting it like to the ends of the earth, just like anything that she wanted to do she would give anything to be a mom or whatever, and then here I am and it happened by accident. And so it
Yeah.
was just like I was just like, man, like the little things that you take for granted, like someone wishes and prays and hopes and just like they can't sleep at night and it's just to see like I guess to see that growing up and then to like kind of put it in a puzzle piece together of what I dealt with and all of that. I was just like, man, I like there has to be other people out here like her. I just so happened to have witnessed it on the back end as a child. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do this. And I don't want any more kids. So it just worked out. It just worked
Like,
out.
No kidding. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Mm-hmm. So I was like,
Very cool.
I'm
What
going to do.
about you, Nicole?
well, I don't have mine's not as crazy, like good. I don't know. I know guys can like there's sperm donating, right? And I was like, well, there's guys to do it too. Like if I could help. Um, and then I just searched it like online and I looked at a couple sites and I just really liked what Egg Donor Solutions had. And then I talked with them and they were just so and so many good reviews and it was just very trusting. I was like, okay. Because people are like, oh, it was very new, I feel like 8 years ago still. And so
Mhm.
people oh my gosh, what if this happens? Or like, what if you die? I was like, I don't really think it's like that. Like, I think this company knows what they're doing. But I really just found it from searching. And then I applied and I was just waiting and it took a while, but I did take a couple years where I didn't update it enough. But yeah, I found it online and then I just like I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I was like, okay, I'll just do it. Why not? But and then I ran into coworkers throughout the years who have run into those issues with not being able to have children, and so it even hit harder as I got so, but yeah, just online.
No, that's awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's nice. I'm excited to do another one.
You'll do another one, at least
There's
another
another
one,
one.
if not
Absolutely.
another 4.
That's
You got
exactly
time,
right.
girl.
Yeah.
So when you guys were deciding kind of on this, how did you even talk to your family about this?
Oh, I pretty much just told her that's what I wanted to do. I was like, Mom, I got to tell you something. But I thought about it like, or before I did like the initial application and everything, I think it was like 2 years. Like
Mm,
it was a very long time. Yeah, because my mom's a researcher and she likes to know the ups and the outs and the ins and all of that about it.
sure.
And it was like 2 years we talked. I remember we talked on Christmas and then we talked again on Valentine's Day and I'm adopted, so it was just kind of like, well, how am I going to know all the information and this and that? And she was like, I think you should do it. I think you should do it. And I was like, okay. And then I think the hardest thing was trying to explain it to my daughter in like
Yeah.
a kid way
Absolutely.
of not like going into total detail, but like as far as, well, mommy's gonna help, other people have babies. And she was like, yeah, but are they gonna come home with us? I'm like, no, they're not. They're not. They better not, girl.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and I feel like that's such an abstract concept, like even more so like I live in surrogacy land, right? So like there's like
Mhm.
the kiddo like very obviously sees like my belly get bigger and they meet the baby and then they see where the baby's parents like they kind of like see this sort of like end connection. And like did she have or does she have kind of like a what's the word, like a just closure, I guess, for like
Yeah.
the whole process? Like how do you kind of explain that like to your kiddos?
Well, so I did it in probably not the best way, but it worked. Um,
Honesty's perfect.
listen, I pretty much was just like, how you go to Kroger and we get eggs. she was like, she was like, she was like, yeah. And I was like, listen, when we go in there and we get eggs and we pay for them and we leave, Kroger don't care what we do with these eggs.
Yeah.
At all.
Cheaper by the dozen.
Okay. Kroger don't care because we got our eggs. We got what we came for. It don't matter.
No.
It's for Kroger no more. And so that's basically, she was like, oh, so it's like going to get groceries. And I was like, yeah.
It's going to get groceries.
Yes. But yeah, it was just like, it worked at the time she was like 6 or 7. So
Oh,
yeah, it worked at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say that feels right for that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the best way I can do it. And I stuck to it. Once she said she understood, okay, great.
yeah.
That's about it.
I
But
see
now
a
that she's
children's
older, she
book
gets
in
it.
the making right here. Just going
Oh,
to get
yeah.
groceries.
Going to get groceries. No, you go to Kroger and get eggs, girl. But now she's older, and so she gets it a little bit. I mean, as much as a 13-year-old, she doesn't even really care at this point. But as much as she can understand now, she's just like, yeah, mom helps people have kids, and we're never not gonna see these kids. And then when I had signed up for the registry,
The
I
donor
had told
sibling,
her,
right?
yeah, I had let her know, and she was like, so I could potentially meet like a brother or a sister. And I was like, yeah, but not technically your brother or your sister. They just share half of your DNA. So they may look like you
Mhm.
and all of that, but it's not like they were still raised by someone else. But that actually helped as far as like me being adopted. And like, so
Uh,
she got that part, because she was like, yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like how you're being raised, and
right.
you're not like, you don't look like them or whatever. And I was like, girl, you are so smart.
Like I was like you. I just kind of was like, well, it's my body. I'm deciding this. But I did talk to them, and I feel like my sisters and my parents are very open, so it's like it wasn't a huge deal. It was more like, okay, cool. And then we talk more details after a while. And then during the cycle, they were like very interested in what was going on. And it was like
Sure.
more educational, I want to say, than it was don't do that. But the
Mhm.
friends, on the other hand, were the ones more like, wait, but what if this happens? So and so. So, but it wasn't that bad. And they know I'm gonna choose what I want to do. So,
At the end of the day, yeah.
Yeah. Did you
and then
guys ever experience anything like negative, like just any negative comments or anything like that, or not really?
From
uh
family?
Just in general.
Uh, I didn't. I mean,
I
I
don't
dealt with some like offices that weren't the best, but
yeah. I think
yeah.
regarding donation in general, I work for kind of a heavily Christian company. And so talking about it, it was like liked, but it also I think was uncomfortable for some people. But I didn't go widely with it. It was just more of my group. Um, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? That's not right. But it was okay. I think a lot of people have a better understanding of the world these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's usually just always like an education process.
Yeah. The more you know, the more comfortable it feels. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
No, that makes a ton of sense. That makes a ton of sense. Well, okay, so tell me about your cycles. I mean, well, Nicole, you had your one cycle and it was obviously amazing enough that you want to do it again. And then same with you, Shania. Do you guys have like a favorite cycle or like a fun tip and trick from your cycle?
Trying to think.
No, I'm trying to think too. No, I
I
mean Tammy from Dallas IVF is my favorite.
Love
Yes.
Tammy
We
so much.
love
Shout out
Tammy.
to Tammy. Oh my God, I
That's
love
my
her.
girl. She is amazing.
love it.
I love Tammy
Amazing.
so much. Oh my gosh. She is, yes. I get to work up with her on the surrogacy side and she's one of my most favorite people in the whole
Yeah,
world.
she's so great. She'll call me and she's like, "Girl, this is my just text me if you have anything." I'm like, "Oh,
Just
love
text
you
me.
so much."
Yes.
And then
She's so good at what she
I
does.
had to no, like
I want to meet.
it's crazy. It's crazy. She could start her own business out of her basement and I joined. But she is like when I had one of my I did a couple of cycles with her, so I was very blessed. But one of my cycles is when we had the big storm in Dallas a few years ago, the ice
The
Wait,
big
snowstorm.
What
freeze.
year?
The big freeze. What was
What
that?
The
year?
same year that you were doing it, Michaela.
Girl, I was there for a cycle and I was doing a traveling cycle then and I was stuck in Frisco and
Oh,
it was I was like so excited, never been to Texas, planned all the things and everything was closed
Yeah.
because
Was there
the
short?
ice
it was.
the ice is the ices.
Yes. Well,
The
you gotta remember, girl,
roads
we're from
were iced
Texas.
over.
We don't know anything if it's not 100-degree heat. We don't know how to drive in nothing. Not even
I
this
know,
rain
Miss
that we're
Upstate
getting.
New York over here.
Yeah.
Born and raised
Yeah.
Vermont. We're looking out the windows like, why? Like, why is everything closed? And we're like trying to think. Literally, the hotel staff was like, you should go to the market and get groceries because the restaurants are going to be closed the next 2 days. I was like, why?
Yeah.
Like,
So I
that
did
makes no sense.
one of my cycles was in the middle of that storm.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so it was I'll never forget it. It was a Sunday night. No, it was a Saturday night is when it had started snowing.
Uh-huh.
And Valentine's Day was Sunday morning. And that was the day I had already gotten pushed 2 days back for my retrieval. So I went in, you're at the very end, you're going in like every day.
Did you
And
already trigger?
yeah, I'd done all of that. Yes, I've done all of that.
Oh
So
my
it was like
goodness.
I went in on Thursday and I did my trigger shot the next day, and then I went back and he was like, "You're still not ready. We'll come back." And like he had to open up the office on a Sunday because I could not wait another day. And it
Oh,
just so happened it was Sunday, it was Valentine's Day, and the snowstorm. So luckily I lived down the street, but my brother had to drive me in the ice. It was
oh,
like down there to it. I waited in the car, like, and at this point, no one can tell me that I was not about to deliver a baby at this point. But like, cause like that's how I felt. And I couldn't even like sit up straight. I was so like I was bent over and he had to open
Oh.
up. And I felt so bad because it was him and then like one nurse. And it literally looked like a scary movie because it was a Sunday, so the office isn't open. And like it's just like one light on in the corner, and I'm like, what is happening? What is going on here? But yeah, it was that would be my craziest thing that I dealt with.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
So wait, so for those who don't know, the reason why like you were so uncomfortable is just because you wwere bloated
Yeah.
from the trigger shot.
Yeah.
That, and I had to like I felt like I grew overnight.
Yeah.
Like because he was like, okay, we just have a few, like you just got to grow a little bit more, and I'm like,
Yeah.
there's 30 something eggs in here. What do you mean grow a little bit more? And oh man, I felt that growth. Okay,
I
I felt I felt it.
How was your cycle, Nicole? Did you have any of those crazy side effects?
Yeah, absolutely. That bloat. Okay. It, I was my friend took me and I was just like, I'm done. Like I am pregnant. I am dead. I was waddling, like I was ready for those to come out. And then the next day I happened to go into work just because I felt fine. I could not button my pants. It was so bad that it was like I had to take a rubber band. I had to go to work and be like, "Can someone help me?" But the bloat was the worst, I think. It was just so I drank so much water. Water is your
Sure.
best. Absolutely.
Mm.
But
Was have you guys have you guys all done an open cycle, like where or has it all been, I mean, I know it's not anonymous isn't the word we use anymore, but or like have you met your IPs or no?
mm-mm.
So
I
I'm
No,
the
met
I've
outlier.
never done it.
I am the complete outlier here.
You're the total outlier.
Yeah,
My
no.
first cycle was unidentified, but once my cycle was complete and he signed up for the donor sibling registry and I was notified too as well, we connected that way. And then we slowly realized that we live 10 minutes away from each other. And then it like developed organically, but we were like, all right, well, we should meet. And we did. And I got to meet the donor conceived baby, and she is like just a doll. Now my both of my sons and my mom have met her, and like we've gone out to dinner, and it was like a full circle, super sweet moment. It wasn't weird. I was scared it was going to be weird because you go into it not thinking of that as like that you think you're going to get an update or something down the road, but like you don't think that you're going to live in the same town or necessarily like ever meet face to face possibly. Like that cannot be a thing sometimes.
Oh wow.
So that's and like we keep in touch quite a bit. But now that I'm an employee, now I have to only do known donor cycles. So this one, it was kind of cool this time, like knowing from the beginning the IP story and getting to
Mhm.
meet them via Zoom and like get a feel for why I was doing what I was doing this time. Of course, I hadn't like you get a brief idea of why you're doing it, even with an unidentified cycle. Like you'll hear the intended parent struggle or their story or why they chose this route.
Mm-hmm.
But getting to talk to them and like see their quirks and like their personalities was cool.
Yeah, that is.
When I got matched, I lived primarily in Vermont. And then I
Mm.
moved in the middle of my cycle, just so happened to be the same county as my IP.
That's
So
crazy.
It was, and I was, so then I was like, well, I wonder how many times he's seen me at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And I had no idea because there's only a few.
No, I'm serious.
Nicole,
But
you'll probably get an update. So you retrieved in June.
uh-huh.
So you'll get an update, I mean, depending on what your IP surrogacy or their journey looked like after your retrieval, you'll probably get an update. What are we? I mean, within the next like 4 months or so.
Yeah. Do we know if they did a surrogate or not?
I don't know.
Don't
I
know.
don't know. It's
yeah,
very
I like the emails. That's the only thing I've gotten is
yeah.
emails like, "Oh, your intended parent is pregnant or they just had a baby." And I'm like, "Oh!"
Yay!
I literally I
Yay!
share with everybody. I'm like, "You guys,
Yeah.
Yay!
you got like 8 kids out there now." I'm like, "Yeah."
Have you gotten
I
any
love
pictures, Shania?
I haven't gotten anything, just the emails that either pregnant or they've had a baby. That's it.
How
No
many
gender, no nothing.
how many successful pregnancies have you heard of?
3.
3.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I
That is
know.
so cool.
Yeah. That is I
But
meant to I've texted Angela and I'm like, what's going on? What's doing it?
Hi, that's how I am with Callie. Oh, girl, I love
We
Callie
love
so much.
Callie. Callie was my coordinator for my first cycle, and it was a dream.
I
Oh
love it.
yeah, I know. I tell Callie all the time, and she's a Cowboys fan, so she's like, "So Shanae, how they
Yeah.
doing?"
Oh yeah, I'm sure she
Listen,
loves that connection.
I'm like, "We're doing good." She was like, "Say hi to Dak for me." I'm like, "Okay."
Oh my
that's
gosh.
so funny.
But
I
It's
love
no,
that.
tell Callie all the time. I'm like, "Girl, all you gotta do is just come up here,
There you
get to meet
go.
me."
She would.
She
Oh
would.
yeah, she would.
Don't
Oh yeah.
tempt her. She would, and she will.
Oh my gosh.
it,
Absolutely.
it's
I
Absolutely.
haven't gotten any pictures or anything like that. I did when I did my cycle in Houston. Um, I got a invoice in the mail with my intended parents' name on it.
Oops.
Yeah. But
Those are
other
things
than
that
that,
don't normally happen.
Yeah.
no, I thought it was weird though too because it didn't come from EDS. It came from
The
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 clinic.
clinic.
facility. Yeah, and so I was just like,
I,
wait, this is weird. I don't know who this person is.
you're like, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
And then we
oh.
call up Callie and we're like, Callie,
Yeah.
we need
Oh
to
man,
fix
I
this.
immediately took a picture. Like, Callie, look, this
Clean
is
up
what I got.
crew.
This is what I got, girl. I'ma shred it. This is what I got though.
There you
They're
go.
and they're a person throughout the whole thing, and even after, I feel like I'm like, hey, what's going on? Or I'll be like, hey, I have this side effect. Is that okay? Is this normal?
That's good
Yeah.
though.
Were you glad that you did a coordinator? I mean, I've heard of people doing independent egg donations, and I feel like that's just crazy.
That's
I
so I have so many questions all the time.
yes.
Like, who
And
would
Google,
I ask?
yeah, I don't want WebMD. I need my court.
Not WebMD.
No, no, Dr. Google. Absolutely not.
Please, because he'll tell me I'm dying.
Yes.
Oh, always. Yeah, Dr.
You
Google
have
and Dr.
24 hours.
Facebook. It's no good over there. Oh my goodness. No.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I could not imagine doing that on my own. Are you joking?
At
People
all.
do that? Oh God, I'm gonna pray for them.
That sounds
I cannot. I will not be
What
that
would
one.
you say surprised you the most during your cycles?
I think
Hmm.
I don't know if it's surprise, but I did get overwhelmed the first day of medicine.
Oh,
I
sure.
I I also had the clinic in Plano, and it was not a great clinic. I was very like middleman with EDS. It was just like they wouldn't call Angela. I had to do it for them. It was so insane. But the lady just went through it really quick, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." It's like, "Okay." And once I got home and it was time, I called up my friend who does ultrasound in Ohio, and I was like, "Hey, I don't know what to do." I like had a meltdown, and she was like, "Just calm down, just like watch the videos and like do it, and you've got this." And so I just had to like focus, and I was fine. But I think those like terrifying part of it is I was like, how am I responsible for this? Like they just sent me home with all this medicine. Like, what? But being fine. But that was probably the scariest part for me.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Well, thank goodness for friends and coordinators.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was instantly thinking, you need Tammy.
Yeah.
That was my first thought.
Girl,
Girl,
everybody needs
call her up.
Tammy. Everybody
Everyone-
needs Tammy.
She's the OG.
Oh,
She's the
really?
OG.
Like for real. No, I think for me, my very first cycle was in Irving, and that was before they had switched the medicine protocol. And so I was on the meds for like 6 weeks, and it sucked.
Hold
Wait,
on. Hold on. I need you
Whoa.
My
to
very
go back. You
I'm
said
sorry.
I've heard of 21 days.
Okay,
okay. Well,
so hold
it
on,
was like a
wait,
month.
wait.
Maybe it
So
was a month.
educate like a non-egg donor world person. What's like the average cycle, or like what's the average amount of time you're on meds?
10 to 16 days.
10 to 16 days. And so you were saying, Shania, you were on meds for 6 weeks.
Yes.
Dig
My very
dig my
first cycle
grave.
that I my very first cycle that I did, she gave me like she gave me like a calendar, and it was like a calendar of the whole month of like when to start this, when to start that, and it was like something new every week. And then I thought, I mean, it's my first cycle, so I'm thinking it's a lot, but I'm thinking, okay, I can do this. I researched this, we're good. But then when
This
I did
sounds
my
like a
second,
surrogacy calendar.
That's
no,
Like,
literally what I'm thinking right now.
yes,
no,
this is like
and
an
then
IVF calendar.
I thought it was normal. And then when I did my second cycle, and she was like, "Oh no, it's gonna be Tammy," and she was like, "Oh no, it's gonna be a few weeks," and I was like, "A few weeks?"
I was
But
ready for a month and a half.
yeah, I was like, "But I've done this before, and I was on meds for like a month," and she was like, "Oh no." We switched the protocol and the meds and this and that, and I was just like, "Oh, thank God."
Oh
But
heck
yeah,
no.
it was a very long time. Very
Oh my
long time.
gosh. You did it for 6 weeks for your first cycle, and then you still came back for more. I love
Yeah.
that. Good for you.
Yeah, yeah. It was not for the weak.
Wow. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. What do you think like any potential intended parents or egg donors should know? Like if they're kind of discerning whether or not to move forward in this process?
I would say definitely have a support system
Yes,
for
Yeah.
sure.
for sure.
Yeah, whether it's friends, family, in the right state of mind, because
Right.
it can be draining, but it can be overwhelming in a good way, but also in a stressful way. So I
Mhm.
would definitely say people who rally around people who are here to see you win. For sure.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Well, to drive you in an ice storm or
Mm.
to call up whenever you're overwhelmed with meds. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Out like friend, the coordinator, like it's more than you think mentally, and then it's just a lot. It's a lot of information, ask your questions, and
Mhm.
but you have somebody to lean on and you have that coordinator. So it's really nice. But definitely like go in serious and realize it's basically a job. Like take it serious, and it's gonna be work because it's your body. But yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah,
And
that's
live
awesome.
alone. Live alone. Because your
True.
patience is like this. Y'all see that little spot between my fingers?
Real thin, real
Or
thin. Oh my goodness. What would
very.
you say have been kind of the benefits of being an egg donor?
I think just knowing you've helped like a family create what they want, and I don't know, that's a huge thing for people. And then obviously getting the money and being able to go travel, that was great. But I
Mhm.
think,
Sure.
you know what I'm saying? But I think it's just at the end of the day, like what if I don't want a family, but I have the ability, might as well help somebody, and then that's their
Mhm.
whole world. Like you just created something that is very special to them.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely I would piggyback off of that for sure. But I just I don't know. I feel like it's such an accomplishment. Like I don't know. I don't I'd be weird about it. Like I'm just like, girl, you can't touch me. I am an egg donor.
No, yeah,
Like,
It's a
like
badge of
literally,
honor,
yes,
100%.
yes. That's how
yeah.
I feel. I feel like I went to war and came out on top.
Uh,
For 6 weeks.
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
war. But yeah, like I feel like
Yeah.
my resume, I would.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. And we were
Like, let
pride.
me
I'm
show
like,
you what type of person I am. I am an egg donor. Okay, do you hear me?
That's big stuff. It's big stuff. I'm going out there making families.
yeah.
Right. But no, I would say that would be the best thing. Just like I feel so blessed to be able to do it, but just that's why I wish like if I ever get the opportunity to meet like my intended parents, oh, I'd probably cry. I'd probably cry. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
like just
100%.
like if you need anything else, like and okay, so I had almost went through a cycle and they had backed out the last not at the last minute, but I had did like one or two appointments. I didn't start meds. We
Oh,
weren't nowhere near that, and they had backed up because they didn't they didn't know, I guess, as far as like financial, how much it was going to cost them or whatever. And I was
sure.
literally like, well, you don't have to pay me as much and I'll do it. Like, that is literally where I was at. Cause I was just like, I just really want to help you. Like, at the end of the day, the money is great. But for me, I really just want to help somebody. Like,
Yeah.
and so whenever I got the news that they had backed out, like, I was kind of like sad, like, oh. And then when I found out it was about the money, I was like, well, do they have to pay me as much? Like, and they're like, unfortunately, that's just not what they were looking for. And I was just like, oh, well, if they ever get the money, I'm here. Like,
Oh,
I felt so bad. But yeah, I love doing it. Like, I don't know.
A good
I don't know.
feeling.
Yeah,
it
for sure.
is. No,
Yeah,
it is. It's such a good feeling.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh
Let's
my
go through.
gosh.
we love it.
I love that you guys love it. And I'm so, I mean, I know those families are so grateful, and just we, like, as an agency, are so grateful for y'all and the amazingness that you have done to, just bless all of these families. And I can't wait. Hopefully, Nicole will hear something soon
Yeah.
about, your
Yes,
successful.
girl.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And then Shanann, new year, 2024. That's going to be your
I know.
year, your swan song.
That's my Christmas wish. That's my
I
Christmas
got you,
wish.
boo.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Well, you guys, thanks again so much for just being here and all that you do. And we're just so grateful for you. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time just to talk more about the
Yeah.
amazing badge of honor that you all carry, which is egg donation. I'm blessed to know y'all and get to talk to you guys. So thanks. You have just finished listening to an episode of Me, You, and Who. To find out more about egg donor and surrogate solutions, go to www.createahappyfamily.com.